Hey, Happy New Year. I've been meaning to make you a cake for ages because you're amazing. You are incredible, and at the beginning of a new year, what's better than eating cake? Because 2012, let's just say, bit good, bit bad. Am I right? Totally right. Bit good, bit bad for me as well. But today, we're going to set the tone for the new year with choc beetroot cupcakes. Just for you because you're incredible. They're gluten-free and vegan. And they're made with coconut flour because pretty much nobody has a coconut allergy. Tell me if you have a coconut allergy, but I'm pretty sure that you don't. So it's the most kind of like egalitarian cupcake I could make. So for an all-inclusive new year, we need to have an all-inclusive cupcake. Obviously my technology is limited and I have just a computer here, and it's on top of Annie Leibovitz's amazing photographs and a couple of incredible comic books. So a lot of bending down is going to happen. Not that kind of bending down, but I'm going to show you what you need for this recipe in case you want to make it yourself later on, because it's going to taste really awesome and you're probably going to want to make it later. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I hope you have a really good new year and that, you know, you're not too hungover today on New Year's Day. It is 1:30, so by now you should be up and about, I hope, because probably you have work tomorrow. Anyway, are you ready? I've written some things down, so I'm going to have to look on my piece of paper because I'm still learning how to cook really good egalitarian cupcakes. Yeah, anyway, what you're going to need is, before I even start, I'm just going to show you what you're going to need, just ingredients wise. Okay? You're going to need 2 cups of flour. You can use whatever flour you want, but I think for a more accessible cupcake, you're going to need to use something that doesn't have too many allergens in it. You know, gluten-free is nice, but you could just use normal flour if you want. 2 cups of flour. Obviously, I'm not doing exacts, I'm using whatever cups I found. 2 cups of flour, half a cup of vegetable oil, 3/4 cup to a cup of cocoa. If you've got choc chips, that would be helpful and probably make your cupcakes taste a little richer, but look, I just don't have it. It's New Year's Day, who's going to give me choc chips today? Nobody. Doesn't mean I don't care about you. I really care about you. I just didn't get to the shops. Newtown Girls. God, such a bad show. So we're using that for the brown sugar, appropriate coloured sugar for the Newtown Girls cup. You're going to need some baking powder. We need 2 teaspoons of this guy, and we need baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Bicarb soda, same shit. Bit of cinnamon, a little bit of cinnamon, probably also a little bit of vanilla, okay? And obviously the core ingredient would be beetroot. This is the secret ingredient, and this is, upside down. You're not going to be able to read it anyway. What is with this? This back to front, like I actually don't look like this. So it's really interesting, like I'm looking at myself making the video and it's like, I actually don't look like this. So when you watch the video, you're going to have to imagine that I look, whatever, this video is about you and how incredible you are. So, the secret. You can use beetroots from a tin. However, normal beetroots grated taste really lovely, or boiled and then put through the blender. But if you're a little bit lazy or a little bit under-resourced, then, if you've got one of these in the cupboard, that can make things a lot easier and a lot quicker. So yeah, so now I'm going to show you how to put it together so that when I'm not around making you things, you can make one for yourself or for other incredible people in your life. Okay, I forgot to say, you're gonna have to grease a cupcake tray. I use Nuttalex for this one. And also preheat your oven to about 180, just for a little bit before you put them in. With the can of beetroots, it's fine to keep the juice. It's usually about 2 cups worth. I mean, this is 425 grams, so I'm hoping that's sort of the equivalent of 2 cups. It may not quite be, but you know, who's exact, really? So we put our wet ingredients and our dry ingredients separate bowls. Well, we blend the wet ingredients and then we add them to the dry, and then we mix, and then we put into the cake pans, which I've put in here into my blender. Can you see? Yeah, just here. Oh, just this one. Uh-oh, just had a bit of trouble there with my blender. Then we put the oil. We put the sugar. What else? Vanilla. Little teaspoon of this guy. Gotta find a little teaspoon. A little teaspoon is a bit of an oxymoron. You just find a teaspoon. Just an ordinary teaspoon. And then we pulse. And then we see what happens. I don't know if you've got the same problem, but I've got this double, it's like the milkshake maker and the blender, but you have to have the milkshake maker on for it to work. So it just spins the air. Anyway, ready? Hands on your ears, please. So then it looks a bit like that when it comes out. So we've got that. Now, what we do is we put all our dry ingredients into a container. So into a bowl, got our flour, so our 2 cups of flour, got our cocoa, chuck that in. So we've got 2 of these guys. That was just a tiny third because the second scoop didn't quite get enough. Then we have a little bit of this one. This is the baking powder. Oh, this baking soda. Sorry, they're very similar. So just 1 of these guys. We need a tiny bit of salt. It's just like half a teaspoon, just a little crack like that. And half a teaspoon of cinnamon. We're going to add the 2 together, so we put them together. We need a wooden spoon. Get 1 of these guys. And then we just pour this. It's the best thing you've ever had. And then when it's cooking, I'm going to put this video together. Then after it's cooked, I'm going to give you some. And then I'm going to eat some with a cup of tea. Because every baker needs to have a cup of tea and a cake after they've made a cake. Really, it's the way it needs to be. I don't know if you can see that. But that's it before we stir it. And we give it a good stir. The day before yesterday, so what would have that been, the 30th? So the day before New Year's Eve, I saw for the first time in my life a film called Face Off. And do you know what? I haven't had such a good time in ages. It was probably one of the highlights of 2012. So I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen it? Face Off. It's fucking awesome. Nicolas Cage, John Travolta, swap lives. And then once it's done, you've got your batter. And because it's coconut flour, it is kind of crumbly. So what comes out is going to be a little bit drier and crumblier. It's moist, but it's really crumbly. And I'm still not sure how to not make it so crumbly. But you've got to, this is the second time I've made the egalitarian cupcake. So I need a bit of time to really, hone my recipe and kind of get on top of that. So look, please, it's not a reflection of how I think you're incredible. So I've put them in here. They're ready to go into the oven. So it's all done. They're out of the oven and they're ready to eat. I've put yours on a pretty special little plate with flowers on it because you're special. This is special for the new year. And the year's going to be the best ever. And I've got a cup of tea to have with the cake. I'm not going to eat yours because you're going to eat yours. But I just wanted to say, look, it's not the best cupcake I've ever made. Unfortunately, we can't always be the best. But I'm going to have mine with a little cup of tea. As I said, I'm actually having to bend down because I put my books away that were keeping some height to the computer. But yeah, see how it's a bit crumbly? It's still really awesome, but it's a little crumble. Anyway, I love you and leave you my cupcake recipe.